Hello, everyone. It's the 4th of July. Cheers. It's just another day over here. As far as it being a holiday, it just really doesn't have any meaning. And the tradition of fireworks is just pisses me off at this point. People are so rude with them, and I've just, been flabbergasted for years at how I live in the inner city, low income neighborhood. I mean, it's mixed, but generally speaking, it's lower income folks. And where's all these? Why is everyone spending so much money on fireworks when there are other things? Of course, that could be said about people and a lot of things that we do. So that's why I just stay quiet for the most part. So I thought what I do today is I grabbed some records out of a section that I hardly ever show, which is the classical and library music section. And many of these records I haven't listened to in a long time, so I'm just going to show them. I may not be able to speak on any of them very lucidly. We'll see, okay? I just thought just to switch it up to do that. Before that, the last record that I played all the way through and really enjoyed was the soundtrack to More by Pink Floyd. I love this album. Cirrus Minor and Cymbeline. Those are great songs. Green is the Color is good too. Okay, so what did I grab? I just grabbed a bunch. First thing, Elliott Carter, String Quartets numbers 1 and 2. Again, when I'm in the mood or when I decide to go there and expose myself, Elliott Carter grabs my attention right away. I can't describe this from memory though. Okay, here's some library records. Music DeWolfe. KLM, Music DeWolfe, and a couple others are really well known. I'm sad to say that when I found this stash of library music to buy, the KLMs were all gone, so I don't have any. But DeWolfe is maybe the standard setter. Maybe someone who actually knows can tell me. But this is Traveler, modern melodic small group sounds for acoustic guitar. Here's another one of those. This is the other Sylvester Music Company. Big library music company. Patchwork Orchestra Volume 5. For my classical section, this is one I've had since I was a kid. The Wicks Organ Concert Series. Now this one I can tell you about because it's got Prelude and Fugue for someone named Elaine by Maurice Duruflé. One of my favorite pieces of organ music. This I can hear in my head right now. I love this. The Wicks Organ Concert Series. I've had this forever. Fantastic. George Crumb, Ancient Voices of Children. Crumb is someone I like. I like world music, or whatever you want to call. Journey to the Lord of Power, an ancient Sufi ritual of remembrance. So that's what we have here is a ritual by these Sufis, recorded. The folks that dance in circles. It's good to know this stuff. It's good to be exposed to this stuff. This is over in that section. Paco de Lucia. That's a nice cover. Castro Marin. Wow. Oh shit. I am embarrassed. I got something here I need to play. Okay, so I have a lot of records, duh. But it's Lucia with Larry Coryell and John McLaughlin. I'm embarrassed. I can remember buying this used and for a minute trying to get that Tweety Bird sticker off the cover. I don't remember playing this. This goes over here in the play section. Again, this is one of the wonderful things about being a collector and being eternally fascinated with these things is that in my own home, I don't need to go buy any records, really. I don't. I have plenty to discover in my own home right here. Wow, how did I overlook that? So that's going on the playlist today. And speaking of playlists, that was something I wanted to mention the other day. I don't do playlists. I don't use Spotify, Tidal, or Apple Music. I don't. It's really for me it's a statement, it's a personal statement of value. It's like, what I got all these records for if I'm just going to use a playlist? Nuh-uh. Okay, here's one. I have all kinds of stuff. I'm thinking of you, Michael Dawson, right now. Kenneth Gaburo, music for voices, instruments, and electronic sounds. I know you were saying that you collect those Moog albums. I try to collect those too, but this old electronic music on the None Such label and stuff like that, I love getting stuff like this. Can't remember what this one sounds like. This looks interesting. Voices and electronic sounds. This is kind of fun. Charles Dodge, Earth's Magnetic Field, Realizations in Computed Electronic Sound. Yeah, I love stuff like this. And I can remember listening to this, but could not describe it for you from memory. None Such. Great label. The None Such Explorer series. This makes me think of John Coltrane, 69. I haven't talked to him for a long time. Don't think he's making videos anymore. But I know he specialized in, or still probably specializes in collecting stuff like this. Excuse me, music from distant corners of the world. So this one is, each side is a different part of the world. Here's a soundtrack. Okay, so some stuff is a little mixed up here. Well, I did recently do some moving stuff around and actually still have some, as I'm seeing here, I still have some organizing to do. Because my soundtracks are over here and the classical's out here, but here's a soundtrack that needs to get moved. And it's by Vladimir Cosma. Don't know much about him, but I like his work. There was a particular piece that I heard by Vladimir Cosma, and I think I got turned on to him through Big Star 1000. And ever since then, whenever I see a soundtrack by him, I get them, and it's good. Mad Adventures of Rabbi Jacob. I love classical guitar. Segovia and Julian Bream are tops to me. But here's one I've had forever. Vicente Gomez Guitar Recital. And this is an old album, as you can see. Old. Robert Suderburg, Piano Concerto Within the Mirror of Time. Also William Schuman. Columbia Odyssey, again, another label that I'm going to show it. Because again, this is like Columbia, regular Columbia. See, it's Columbia Odyssey, and I've discovered a lot of wonderful music on this label from all over the world. I'm glad I'm doing this. It was like, okay, it was time. It was time to step over into this area of the collection. Yeah. I love all types of music, actually. The thing I probably dislike the most is just manufactured music. Anyway, China. Shantung folk music and traditional instrumental pieces. Another in the None Such Explorer series. Here's one where it's like I wasn't sure where to put this. Back at the end of the 80s, going into the 90s, I remember when there was an attempt to make a trend out of this Bhangra music out of the Middle East. And I got this album, Bhangra Power. It's several different artists. None I can. Well, the Sahodas actually. So that's a name that I became familiar with. Sahodas. It seemed like maybe Sahodas was going to push through, but it didn't. But interesting stuff. Bhangra Power. Indian music, I believe. Here we go. Here's some Segovia. See, I need to put these in order. Probably will do that today for my 4th of July. So I know I have several Segovias, and they're not together. Segovia and the guitar. He is another person who, the way that he played the guitar, like Vinnie Riley, I'll compare them in this way. They have a way of touching the strings. I've said this before, that the big secret in playing instruments is, like guitars and, well, most instruments really, it's not the equipment, it's the touch. It's the interaction between the player and the instrument. And Segovia is someone who, the way that he plays the guitar, the way he touches those strings, I can tell it's him almost immediately. Vinnie Riley, quite literally, for the most part, I can hear him pluck one string and I'll know that's Vinnie Riley. Isn't that something? This is wonderful. This is one I've had for a long time. Jose Luis Gonzalez, 20th Century Guitar Music. This is one that I bought it when I was pretty young, and so I know this one. This is fantastic. Ponce, Castel Nuovo Tedesco, Villalobos, Torrega, Tansman, Barrios, Lebec. This is the shit, y'all. Yes, indeed. Boy, and now here comes another one. One of my favorite composers, Alexander Scriabin. He came up with his own tone system. I mean, when you hear his composing, you know it's Scriabin. Don't nobody else write like this, and it's intense. Scriabin's work, Symphony No. 2, I can hear it in my head. He's one of my favorites. He is. I love him. Jose Cerebrier conducts Peter Menon, Cerebrier, and William F. Lee. Now, this is on another interesting label, the Finidar label. Don't see too many records on the Finidar label, but when I come across these used, I don't even have to know anything about the artist. I know from the label, it's like I should probably get this and discover what, because it's that type of label. Here we go. Is this the New World Records Recorded Anthology of American Music, which comes to us thanks to the Rockefeller Foundation. Boy, we could talk about the Rockefellers and how much good and damage they've done because of their riches. But this one, I don't remember this one, but I know I like Gunther Schuller. Andrew Imbrie, I can't recall what that would sound like. Shit, I got some stuff to play today, y'all. Yeah. Here's another Segovia, old one. Actually, some of these Segovias I actually inherited or were given to me by a friend of mine's mom before they moved out of town. They were her records, but she could tell that if she gave them to me, they wouldn't be they would be appreciated. I love Segovia. Two more. A Persian Heritage, Classical Music of Iran. It's None Such series. If you're hip to this stuff or if you're not, I encourage None Such series. None Such. Anytime you see those in the used section, if you're open-minded or you're into this sort of thing, get them. Now here's another label and stuff that if I could, you don't see them like you used to. the Scholastic Records and the Folkways Records. Here's one, The Birds' World of Song by Hudson and Sandra Ashley. This is the Scholastic label. I was thinking of Folkways. Oh, yeah, it is. Yep, Folkways. Cool stuff. So, for me, all my life, music has been a gateway to learning besides books. It's been a way to travel the world without leaving the room. And it's still very effective in that way. And these records are a reminder of the wide range of art to be exposed to. So there's some stuff for you. Happy 4th of July. Be careful with fireworks if you have to blow them up. Be careful, okay?